to another episode of From the Shadows. Now, if we could get 250 likes, which we've been doing amazingly lately. In fact, guys, to be honest, you hit, I think, 310 on the last episode, but we're going to go for 250 again on this episode, then please do feel free to do that. It'd be awesome if we could get that again. Right, so we're going to get through things. Well, actually, we don't have to take things too quickly today. We're just going to sort of take a little stroll through things. I've not got loads of stuff to go over before the episode, so we're just going to get straight in. Actually, what I do have to say is hopefully I will be live streaming very, very soon. Of course, when we hit the 10k, we'll be doing a celebratory stream. So if you do want to follow me on Twitch to find out when that happens, obviously I'll give you pre-warning as well, but if you do want to follow to get a notification, then there is, of course, a link to my Twitch in the description to this video, along with other links of things and bits and stuff. So, right, let's do a question of the day. And this one's actually, I've just realised this is on my list twice from different people, so we probably should answer it. I think I've answered it before in a Q&A, but what other sports do you like besides football? Basically, the sort of... I'm not really a big fan of rugby. I used to be when I was younger, but it just kind of went off it. Rugby league was okay, but I was just never really able to get into it. To be honest, other than football, I don't really like most British sports. Also not British sports, but I prefer American sports in terms of, like, the only one I don't really like... okay, no, sorry, that's not what I mean. Like, ice hockey is definitely my favourite other sport. I love a bit of ice hockey. And baseball I've got into a bit more while I was ill. I watched quite a lot of baseball while I was ill for some reason. It's just one of those things that was quite good too. And I do watch the Super Bowl, but other than that, I've never really been able to get into basketball. Other than that, motorsport I like. And when I say that, I don't mean F1, I mean like touring cars and things like that. That's quite cool as well. So if you do have any ideas for a question of the day, drop it in the comments with the hashtag QOTD. Right, so... in the last episode, we beat Toulouse 5-0, and you might be wondering why this episode is a PSG game, and you'll see why in a sec. It's sort of a surprise one that's cropped up out of nowhere, but I figured you guys would want to see it because it's a game against PSG, and that's what we're here to do. But we're going to go through things anyway, so we've obviously actually played one more game than we originally intended to in the first place. So, we started things off away at Monaco, and we've been on a relatively decent run lately, you know, with 7 points from our last 3 games. Unfortunately, against Monaco, it just was not to be. We were just not good enough on the night, really. It's a shame, but it happens. Could have maybe been so different. Cantini's own goal and the penalty from João Moutinho were actually all that really separated the two sides. Unfortunately, that was enough to separate us. And in the end, I guess Monaco, you know, we just seem to have this hoodoo about Monaco. We cannot seem to break them down very well. In the next game, though, we are at home to Saint Etienne, and they are not the team they were last year, and we were able to take full advantage of that. Someone actually pointed out to me that Aslan means lion in Turkish. Now, I didn't actually know that. Obviously, all the Aslan and Lion references I'm getting from, you know, C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, which obviously must be where he named the character from, but I had no idea of the etymology behind it. So thank you for letting me know. That was kind of cool, which just gives me even more puns that I can make in the future. Now, as you can see in this one, Jeremy Aubin, who's been, once again, been doing so well with his headers from corners, he's a beast from those situations, as you saw against Toulouse, although I think that was a free kick. But, yet again, Park Jae-won in there with yet another goal. You can't stop him. Man of the match in this one as well, an 8.7. He is an absolute machine. He and Aslan, I think next season, he and Aslan are going to tear this league apart, and they already are in some ways, but particularly, this game was made much easier as well in the second half, after Paul Basie, or Base, was sent off for Saint Etienne. It just allowed us to sort of kill off the match, basically. Aslan's injury was a little bit of a worry, but thankfully, it was nothing serious, and we were able to continue. Next up, we had Lorient away in the league, and I genuinely did not expect to get anything from this game at all. I fully expected us to get comfortably beaten, and we probably should have, really. They were really very good, and we offered nothing in this one, really. We had one good opportunity, which unfortunately Cherry had to spurn around the post, but it just wasn't our day, and they really deserved to win. But we got ourselves a draw, and I was actually quite pleased because we're getting draws in these sort of games that we wouldn't have. Last year, this game would have ended 4-0. You know, we've actually looked a bit more solid at the back. As you can see, you know, the 5-0 win over Toulouse, fair enough, that was a great performance. Then we lost 2-0, fair enough, but then 2 more clean sheets. 3 clean sheets in 4, and suddenly we're back on the horse. All is well. Next up, we had Lorient in the Cup, and this was an absolute belter of a match. We played much, much better in this one. Still not as good as we should have, and they still probably did deserve to win this one, I have to say. And Sigris, this time with the own goal for us, did not exactly do us any favours, but we did take a 2-0 lead through Alberto Cherry, and I thought at that point, we really were firing. We were fantastic, but they really did come back at us after that. We conceded a penalty, which Sissako was able to dispatch. 3 minutes later, an own goal, very similar to the game against Monaco in that sense, and they were right back on level terms, which was a little disappointing, it has to be said. And then Omar Damari, who always seems to score against us, put them in front on 68 minutes, and from then on I really didn't think there was any hope of us getting back into it. But a late actually I'm going to show you this goal from Janvier because it was an absolute belter of a strike. I didn't really think he had it in him, frankly. It was the 91st minute of this match, and look at this for a hit. Look how far out he is. this is an absolute stunner. Top corner, goalkeeper's nowhere, and what a result that. I mean, what a goal that is. And then, in extra time, Alberto Cherry completes his hat-trick in the 116th minute to win the game for us 4-3 and put us through to the next round of the League Cup in the quarter-finals, would you believe? I think that's the furthest we've gone, and that's how we ended up drawing PSG, and that is why I decided that we would play that game instead of the Montpellier game, because it's PSG. Got to prioritise it. Next up, we have Valenciennes at home. Now, if you recall, earlier in the season, I think it was this season, we had a bit of an unlucky result against them in the past, but this time, much, much better. We were really on top of this game. Quentin Pereira played a rare game for us. He's not played so many this year, and then Nicolas Janvier getting back-to-back goals in back-to-back games, which is lovely to see. Apologies, that's my phone and Twitter going off. That's the problem when you're recording things on Fridays. So yeah, that happened, and Bargugi also got some game time in this one, but I did actually bring him on for half time just because he just wasn't having the best time of it, to be honest, and I did want to try and keep things fresh, basically. So a 2-0 win again, and as you can see, we really have done fantastically well this month, and we've pulled ourselves back up the league. Okay, it's a little bit in our favour in the sense that we've played against some of the slightly weaker teams in the league, and so it's perhaps falsely inflated our tally slightly. We've got some really tough games coming up, and I think that will cause us to slide down quite considerably, but that's fine. We've done enough now to comfortably stay up, and everything from here is a bonus. I have adjusted the season expectations, though. They gave me the option, and I've said now mid-table, which gave us a bit more money to move around, which is good. Also, I think I have a signing to show you as well, so I'll show you that in a sec. Next up, we had Maccabi Paris, which is a very interesting name for a club. I don't know if they have an Israeli link at all, but if anyone knows anything about Maccabi Paris, all I could see on was what I could find on Wikipedia, and it wasn't all that impressive. Now, this for me, obviously I played a very, very weakened team, so you can see, Frick, Poirier, Philippe, Ten, Matas, Mercier, Gape, Bargugi, Park Jae-won did actually start, but I substituted him the moment he got a knock because I was not about to get him injured, and Djorkaeff actually started up front as well. But it was all about the midfield. It really, really was. Dominic Gape gave us, a 2-0 lead, basically, and then they actually got one back with their only shot on target of the game, which was disappointed. But Ergen Aslan, off the bench, 2 more goals for the season for him, and a good 4-1 win. Really could have been a lot more, but it doesn't matter, because we got the 4-1 win in the end, and that's what's important. And finally, this month, we had Montpellier away, the game that would have been the live com if it wasn't for this, and a really, really solid performance. Yet again, Cherry and Ergen Aslan. I just don't know. I don't know how to describe the lad anymore. I don't know how many goals he's got, and another man of the match award for him, which is just truly spectacular. So we're going to quickly show you where things are in the league. So we're actually at the moment sitting in second place, although admittedly Lyon have 2 games in hand. No, sorry, have a game in hand, which would take them above us if they won it. We're 8 points behind PSG, and they have 2 games in hand, so they're going to win the league again, as you can imagine. But we do have a positive goal difference now, and we're starting to slide. We're no longer the worst defence in the league, and we still have the best attack, which is pleasant to see. As for average rating, you can see Park Jae-won and Aslan are both on there, along with Andre Ayew and Mateo Kovacic. So, and obviously Alberto Cherry with 13 league goals as well. He's right up there in the top scorers. Aslan has the most man of the match awards. And I have to say, despite our horrific defences, our goalkeeper is actually number 5 on the clean sheets. He's got 6 clean sheets somehow. Sidigu, though, with 12 out of 20 is unbelievable stuff. Also, you'll like this. On the player stats, look at the key passes. Park Jae-won and Ergen Aslan are on there. And I believe that someone else is like... I don't know if we can... No, we can't. Oh, we can actually, can't we? But... let's just see here. Key passes. Yeah, I'm pretty certain we've got another one. But yeah, Buelen's isn't exactly far behind either. Finally, transfers. I swear I've... Oh, maybe not. Did I not set... Has he not completed the transfer? Or has he actually joined us? Hang on, guys. 1 sec. Let me just see if we can... Right, yeah, you remember me showing you Herve Sidibe in the last episode? Basically, he became available, and I said, fuck it, let's go and have a little crack. Now... Perhaps he could have done with a bit more scouting, but I still think that for the price, he's not going to be a bad player. He's certainly got a bit of time for the future, and perhaps, he's not bad. He's certainly got some, look at this, some nice physicals, jumping rate, stamina, strength, not bad at all. Decent heading, marking, tackling, all really solid. He's very sort of limited, but I still think there's some potential in this lad, particularly in the air. Now, if you remember, I was showing you a guy called Helio in the last episode. Unfortunately, he's not quite turned out to be the player that I hoped he was, unfortunately. Let me just show you... what was he on? He was on our South American one, wasn't he? Which I believe is this one? Yeah, here we go. Now, as he's now been scouted, his current ability's slightly less. So as you can see, it's a lot less. If you look at this ability here, they've got, but when you look at them a bit in more detail, so I'm not entirely sure. Plus, we tried to go in and they want 6 million. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Helio is worth 6 million? That's the minimum price we can get for 6.5. I think it was. Do you think it's worth us trying to pick this lad up for £6 million, basically? Because that's the price they're asking. Is it worth us getting in the summer and getting this lad before anyone else does? Because I think he's still going to be a good player, but I don't know whether he's quite going to be good enough. That potential I'm still a little bit worried about. Like, do you think he could make a good player for us? That's my question to you. Just have a little look at the report a bit more. No intention of joining our club, but that doesn't mean we can't get him to join. I found that is a bit irrelevant, to be honest. So, adaptability. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, guys. That's my theory on it. But, wow, look at this. Why the hell? We should have another left-back in here. We do need to get a left-back in the summer, though. As for the squad, let's take a little gander. Top goal scorer at the moment, Alberto Cherry, with 16 goals in 22 games is amazing stuff. Aslan, though, with 11 goals in 18 starts is great. Park Jae-won has also got himself 8, which is brilliant. As for assists, Park Jae-won has 8 assists. Him and Aslan, look at that. 8 assists and 8 goals, 11 goals and 7 assists. They are bagging. They're just the best players we've got on the team, I think, personally. Aslan has the most man of the match awards too, with 6, which is fantastic. Aslan's pass rating also, look at that, 88% pass completion. Buelen's is 89, which is incredible. And Matas has actually done pretty well when he's come in as well, so it's nice to see. Average rating wise, Allberg's gone out on loan now because he just wasn't getting in the team so much. I want to get him some football. But again, Aslan running away with that, and of course key passes is right up there as well. Aslan is on a new contract as well. I decided to tie him down to make sure we keep this lad, because the fact is he's going to be one of the most important players in this save. I can already tell, and I want to make sure that we keep him for the entirety of it, to be honest. Right, let's get into things, because we don't want this to go on for too long. We're playing PSG. We are at home, but I'm still going to twitch it to our counter-attacking style personally, because I just don't think that there's any point in trying to go control in this one. It's just not going to work. So we are going to do counter. We're not in a position to do that yet. Unfortunately, I need to make a second version of this tactic so that they can stay fluid on both of them, basically. Should be okay, though. So, Cherry, Park Jae-won, Aslan, of course, Gape and Saleh Uchan in behind, Buelen's in behind them, then Ten, Oban, Umbar, and Ruiz. Is that written? Yeah, to be honest, I don't really see what other option we've got on that one. We're missing a couple of extra people, really. And Villa seems to have faded away this year a little bit. We've obviously got some of our youngsters here, which I really need to find some loan moves for. Gaston Sosa as well. I don't know how he's ended up on holiday. This is the thing. I don't know why he is on holiday. Like, what? You're in the middle of the season, mate. Like, just, I'm off yachting. Brilliant. That's probably why, but he might get some game time towards the end of the season, Sidibe. Not entirely sure if he was worth all the money, but we'll have to see. Only time will tell. Let's get into things then. Paris FC versus Paris Saint-Germain in the French League Cup. They're obviously the favourites, but look at the difference. It's now, they're only 4-6 favourites now, rather than being, 1-50. Alberto Cherry's already got 3 goals in this cup. Again, maybe they'll play a slightly weakened team. Correa, Lamela, Depay, Kovacic, Romero, Højbjerg. Oh, sorry, Højbjerg. That's a really hard name to say. I do apologise. Digne, Kante, Munoz, Danilo, and Sirigu. Anyone else interesting on the bench? Oh, Yayo. No, that's not Yayo Sonogo, is it? That's a different Sonogo. Probably a regen. Abdoulaye Sonogo. Lovely hair, though. Right. And they've obviously got Nipples in goal on the bench, too. So let's give this a crack. I'm not expecting the same kind of result that we got last time, because we did get battered, and in the end, probably were very, very lucky. In fact, we were definitely very lucky, but what can you do, guys? We've got to give it our best shot. We've not got this far in the French Cup before. We've exceeded the expectations in this tournament already. In fact, just by getting to the 4th round, we exceeded them, I think. But we'll do our best. We've got to slowly sort of work our way up against these sort of teams. We've got our first point against PSG, and imagine if we knocked them out of the cup and got to the semis. Because to be honest, I'd feel like if we were to knock them out of the cup here, which we're not going to do, let's face it, but if we were, I would say there's every chance of us being able to go on and have a real crack at it, because the best team would then be out of the cup, basically. And everyone else, I think, on our day, we were able to beat in this league, except for PSG. That's sort of where we're at the moment. Digne, ball back across, and Lamela at the far post. No problem. 5 minutes gone, and we've already gone behind. It's poor. It is. But I really don't know what else we could do. Maybe, should we try going on control? Because it's a bit difficult countering now. Should we actually give it a crack? Since it's been working so well for us, should we have some faith in our new system and try it on control? They're more, they're better with it. Let's encourage them as well while we're here. But I think, let's just see how a full game of control works against PSG, basically. Maybe we can create a couple of chances a bit more. Just look a little bit better in the game as a whole. You know, we didn't exactly create much apart from the equaliser in the last match, and I'd want to see if we've actually got a bit more creativity. Get Aslan and Park Jae-won on the ball a little bit more. Ruiz does really well there. Back to Sigris, lumps it downfield to nobody, unfortunately. I think we could be on for a backs against the wall kind of job here. Correa, well blocked again. Defensively, in terms of our last-ditch tackles, they've actually been very, very solid, but it's one of the areas that we do need to strengthen. In terms of this team, the one area that we are incredibly good in is that midfield area, particularly the attacking mids. They are something else. Aslan and Park Jae-won are fantastic, but in behind them even, it's still fantastic. We're actually looking a bit better since we've moved on to control, to be honest. We're not allowing them too many good opportunities. Perhaps we should have just started on it, to be honest. Our pass completion is solid. It's actually better than them. It's not been good enough, but okay. Apparently Peta 10 is in disagreement with us there. Well, you know, he can go sit in the corner, can't he? It's just... I don't know. I want us to show me something that makes me think that we're actually capable of doing something, you know. And like they always say, it's not over till the fat lady sings.
It's never over till the fat lady sings.
So there's that. And hopefully the fat lady is warm. I don't know. It's just difficult. Uchan now. We're going to get broke on. Lamela. I would like to at least keep the score down if we can, you know. And Barr, he's been dragged out of position, and now they're going to score. Lamela, Depay at the far post, and it is 2-0 to PSG. Shame there, really. Memphis Depay with the goal to make it 2-0. As long as we don't embarrass ourselves. I think, did we lose 7-0 to them at one point a couple of seasons ago? I think the days of getting results like that done against us are pretty much over. We do seem a lot more prepared. Perhaps keeper could have done a little bit better there, letting Memphis Depay score a header, but oh well. I might have to throw it on attacking in a bit, but it's at 2-0, it's kind of a bit more difficult. It's starting to look like this one's beyond us a little bit here. I don't know why Janvier's morale is terrible. That doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. I like the look of our bench, though. It's starting to look a bit more like we've got options, and I'm enjoying that as a fact. Park Jae-won has not had the best game. I'm going to bring Baguji on, give him a little crack there. And to be honest, I might even bring Djorkaeff on for a bit, because Cherry's done nothing today, and Djorkaeff just gives us a slightly different option up front. He's a bit more pacey. Yeah, okay, he may not be as good overall. Should we just throw an overload for the last 15 minutes and see if we can do something special? It's unlikely to happen, but if we can get ourselves a goal back, that would be quite nice. In the end, it doesn't look like it's going to come even close to happening, but, you know, we've tried. Oh, dear. Probably not going to concede a third here. Oh, my God. What is that? I mean, Kovacic now on the edge of the area. Bulens clips it downfield. Djorkaeff will win this here. He's got a little bit of a chance now. He's gone past one man, gone past two, into the box. Will he foul? Oh my goodness, look at that. That is actually quite dynamic play from the youngster. I'm impressed with that. He really did give him a crack there. I tell you what, though, if you look at the actual stats of this game, we've not been anywhere near as outclassed as we have in previous matches. We've actually played better in terms of overall in today's game than we did in the draw that we got. And for me, that's not actually that bad. I'm pretty pleased with that. Like, okay, it's a 2-0 defeat, but there is definite progress being shown that, okay, we won't ever get a lot of shots on target, but the fact that we're even able to sort of hold our own in some respects against them, I think that bodes well for us in the future, to be honest. Oh, God, if we'd have gone through, look at that. We could have played against USBCO. Oh, that's the thing. If we could sneak through there and knock them out, there would have been a real chance for us to have a crack at winning the French League Cup. And I think there's every chance that we'll have a real go at that at some point later in the save. It's just taking its time, but I think the club is starting to finally come into its own now. This year, we've really looked solid. Now, what have we got next? To be honest, actually, that's quite a long way away. That's not till the 7th of March. That's nearly 2 months away. But then, that being said... I can't do too much in episodes at the moment, because that would be a lot. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, plus potentially more, because I feel like we'll knock out Ajaccio, and that's 9 games in one episode. Sorry, 10 technically if you include the live com would be a bit too many for me. I'll tell you what, we'll do the Olympic Lyon game as the next live com, because there'll be another cup game in between there, and then we'll do Paris Saint-Germain, so we don't get back-to-back games against them in live coms, just freshen things up a little bit. Plus it'll be a tough one against Lyon, because we'll probably be right in and around them at the time of that game. So guys, if you like what you're seeing, apologies that we did lose the game, it's just one of those things, unfortunately, then please do drop a like on the video, see if we can get it above 250 like we have done for the past several days, and you guys really are legends for doing that. And yeah, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel for more Outcaster icons and From the Shadows in your inbox every other day at 7 o'clock. And I will see you guys in the next episode for a game against Lyon. And oh no, we won't have a youth intake by then, but that's going to be fun as well, because we have improved our youth facilities as well. So you never know what we're going to get this year. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.